Assalamualaikum and greetings to all panels. Our group will be presenting our research on tourist satisfaction of local food in Kelantan.
For the abstract, local food is food which is produced inside a quick distance through intermediate marketing of food product to consumer distributed over a limited geographical area. This study investigates tourist satisfaction with the quality of Kelantanese food. The study gives some implication for the growth of local food in Malaysia, which is useful to make prediction about the food in Kelantan.
For the introduction, food is identified as being an expressive identification and essential factor of culture and heritage. Local food is often used interchangeable to check with food produced close to the consumer in comparison to the current or standard food system. Furthermore, eating local foods contributes to the tourist involvement in learning about the local geography, people, and culture. We also use the independent variable to refer to the latter, which is tangibles, reliability, assurance, empathy, and responsiveness for the term of service quality. Our research problem is the first one. Kelantan is recognized as the cradle of Malay culture and is noted for its distinct cultural legacy, natural areas, and outstanding hospitality of the native, as well as its unique cuisine, all of which affect the state tourist growth. Second is, Kelantan has a wide variety of foods to meet tourist craving, ranging from flavorful to sweet foods, because Kelantan is well known for its native cuisine, which is never fails to please tourists. The last one is, during the pandemic, there is no research done yet on the satisfaction of domestic tourists toward Kelantan foods, and during lockdown, there was a mushrooming of home delivering food.
The research objective for this study: first, to study the level of service quality of local food in Kelantan among the domestic tourists. Second, to investigate the relationship between tourist satisfaction and local food among tourists. The research question for this study: first, what is the level of service quality of local food in Kelantan among the domestic tourists? Second, what is the relationship between tourist satisfaction and local food among tourists?
Next, we move to the literature review. Firstly is Kelantan food. Kelantan food has been heavily inspired by Thai cuisine and is popular among Malaysia. Sugar is one of the ingredients on which their cooking is built, and as a result, most meals from the area got a sweet taste. The example of Kelantan food are nasi kerabu, nasi dagan, ayam percik, and others. Secondly is local food. The distance between where the food was developed and where it was retailed or expanded not only has a lot of eventuality in terms of effective destination marketing strategy, but also have numerous cons in terms of sustainable tourism, which is decreasingly valued in destination development. Thirdly is reliability. The importance of loyal customers should not be underestimated, as they are easier to sell, are more likely to advertise a good tasting product, and will be more receptive to other products of the same brand. They are keen to try local food in tourist area, even though they differ from familiar food in terms of product, social and ecological characteristics. Besides its insurance, hygiene has been given abundant emphasis in halal, and it includes the exotic aspect of the personal body, clothing, equipment, and therefore the operating premises for the process or manufacture of food, drink, and product. The staff play an important role in processing the food. This is because handling food with inappropriate method can lead to food contamination. Tangible. The most essential characteristic of any food appearance is color. An instance of this will be visible in an examination of the facial expression of youngest baby. Next is empathy. The definition of empathy is caring, individualized attention provided to customer. For example, good prices and food will increase the tourists to visit place again. It should be easy to access, good communication, and can understand customer. Responsiveness. According to Parasuraman 1985, responsiveness of prompt service in the kindness to assist purchaser via means of presenting set of offering as quickly as a request is received. The advertising on social media can make everyone know about local food in Kelantan. For example, promoting on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and other applications is currently useful to everyone. Lastly but not least is tourist satisfaction. Satisfaction is the end result whilst the overall performance of product exceeds the requirement of the purchaser. Satisfaction is one of the essential elements that must be taken with the aid of using the purchaser to determine whether or not to retain to buy the product. This is our research framework. It is consists of independent variable and dependent variable. Firstly is tangible, appearance of food, hygiene of the premises, and taste of food. Secondly is reliability, consistency in food taste, and availability of food. Thirdly is assurance, food safety, and staff knowledge in customer service. Next is empathy, good prices and food convenience. And lastly is responsiveness, intention to revisit and advertisement. For the dependent variable is domestic tourist satisfaction.
Okay, let's move on to the quantitative methodology. As you can see, this slide have research design, pilot study, population and sample. Okay, let's go through with one by one. Research design. Quantitative research generates statistics through the use of important research studies that employ data gathering techniques such as questionnaire or structured interviews. It is mostly concerned with numerical data, static data, and convergent reasoning. We also distribute questionnaire to determine if the perceived service quality of local food in Kelantan affect domestic tourist satisfaction. The data was gathering on July and the data collection only took a month of the process. Okay, pilot study. Pilot study is a small study designed to evaluate research protocol, data collection methods, population and sample size, and also other research strategies in advance of a larger study. Next, a pilot study is a critical phase in the research process since it helps us to identify potential problems, areas, and flaws in research equipment and also the procedure before using in the complete studies. SPSS can accept data from any file types and utilize it to create tabulated report, distribution chart, and graph, descriptive statistic, and also the complicated statistic analysis. Sampling technique. Sampling is taken into consideration because the technique of gathering samples from a particular sort of individual. The sampling technique is divided into two parts, which is probability sampling and non-probability sampling. So, we only use non-probability sampling because we will collect sample from the specific type of person. Research instrument is the common term utilized by us for measuring instruments such as surveys, tests, questionnaires, and so on. We divided the questionnaire into 3 sections, which are Section A, B, and C. Section A was focused on the respondents' demographic information, which is involved gender, age, income, and occupation. Section B was focused on the independent variable in 5 aspects of service quality, which are reliability, assurance, tangibles, empathy, and responsiveness. Section C was focused on the dependent variable, which is domestic tourist satisfaction. Data collection method. It is process of gathering information to obtain answer to the research problem, define the hypothesis, and evaluate the result from all important resources. It can be divided into 2 categories, which are primary method of data collection and secondary method of data collection. Data analysis technique, we have 3 types, which are descriptive statistics, Pearson correlation, and the last one is reliability test. Descriptive statistics. Its record may be beneficial for 2 functions that are to offer fundamental statistics about variables in a statistic set and to focus on capacity relationship among variables. Pearson correlation. It analysis used to study the relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable. It used to identify if the correlation exists between the independent variables, which are tangibles, reliability, assurance, empathy, and last one is responsiveness, and the dependent variable, which is domestic tourist satisfaction. Reliability test is an indication of the stability and consistency without bias and helps assess the goodness of the measure. Cronbach alpha would seem to be a function of the number of items in the measure, the mean standard deviation between pairs of items, and the variance of the overall score.
Next, we move to the finding part. The table shows the frequency analysis of the demographic profile for domestic tourists. The questionnaire in Section A includes a few demographic questions about the respondents' gender, age, income level, and occupation. First, gender of the respondents, which female are 48, while male are 17. For the age, the most respondents are in the range of 21 to 30 years old. Next, majority of respondents were not disclosing their income level because they want to keep the income information secret and discreet. For the occupation, the respondents were majority a student because nowadays students prefer to travel with their friends as opposed to government sector because they may be busy with their work. The table shows the results of the reliability analysis for the aspect of service quality of local food in Kelantan. The alpha coefficient of Cronbach shows a value of 0.968, which indicates excellent. The highest mean for this aspect is the food served is halal and fresh, which is 3.38 because in Kelantan, the majority people are Muslims, while the lowest mean is the food on the menu is always available, which is 2.94, probably due to seasonal foods such as fruits and seafoods. Table shows the results of reliability analysis for domestic tourist satisfaction. The alpha outcome of the Cronbach for the question in this segment was 0.938, which indicates good results. Thus, the questionnaire is reliable and accurate for use in this study. The highest mean for this section is how the tourists rate interaction with local people, which is 4.22, because we know that Kelantan's people are very friendly when it comes to serving tourists. While the lowest mean is how tourists rate the parking facility, which is 3.78, because of the parking is difficult to find, inadequate, and inconvenient for tourists.
Let's move to the descriptive analysis. This is the result for descriptive analysis for section B, which is the service quality. Based on the table, we can see that majority of respondents will strongly agree with the questions that have been distributed. The data can be seen from the maximum level in the table provided. This level refers to the Likert scale that we use for the questionnaires, which is 1 to 4, represent strongly disagree, disagree, agree, and strongly agree. On the other hand, for the minimum level, the respondents voted from the scale 1 and 2, which is strongly disagree and disagree. This is the descriptive analysis for section C, which is the domestic tourist satisfaction. From the table, we can see that the maximum level was shown by the highest scale, which is 5, represent very good. This scale showed that the respondents were very satisfied with all the statements in the table. Meanwhile, there were also some respondents shown their own level of satisfaction by giving the rate from 1 and 2, which mean not very satisfied with the statements. For example, the lowest rate of satisfaction was stated on the parking facility. Some of the restaurants did not provide the parking space, so the customers need to park by the roadside. This situation can cause a feeling of dissatisfaction to the customers, especially the tourists from outside Kelantan. Lastly, the Pearson correlation analysis. This study concludes that there is a positive relationship between the aspects of service quality and domestic tourist satisfaction. The higher the service quality provided, the higher the domestic tourist satisfaction. In conclusion, the results obtained in this study are limited to current understanding only. The researchers also delivered the purpose of this study with regard to the problem and to identify the relationship between the aspect of service quality and domestic tourist satisfaction. The research framework was focused on the literature that has been viewed. The researchers decided to analyze the relationship between each factor in the independence variables and the dependence variables. That's all from our group. Thank you for your time.